Hello and welcome to the BFL Football Show for another week, proudly supported by McDonald's and Ballarat Toyota. And what a big weekend it was last weekend. There were quite a few upsets right across the football and netball. On this week's show we'll have a look at those games, along with the Spirit of Football and Netball Awards from last weekend. We'll also preview the big rivalry round coming up this weekend. A big show, let's get into it. Yes, hello and welcome to the BFL Football Show for another week, proudly supported by McDonald's and Ballarat Toyota. And Nunny, welcome aboard once again, mate.
Good to be here again, Brades. Can't wait to get stuck into today's show.
Great to have you here always, mate. And now, last weekend, a really big weekend of BFL action. First of all, back to Smash. They trialled most of the day against Melton, but a really good win in the end.
Fantastic effort by the Marsh to get up over Melton. They trailed for a majority of the night, and a bit of undisciplined football cost Melton the game towards the end of their match from all reports. So, the Bloods will be licking their wounds and very disappointed with that last quarter performance, which ended up costing them the game. Yeah,
for sure. And back to Smash, 12-6-78 defeated Melton 10-8-68. And back to Smash, 2 wins from 2 games. They'll be certainly very delighted with that.
Could very well be 3-0 this week if they beat Darley. So we'll look at that game a bit later on. But
for sure.
A great start to the Cobras.
Now, also East Point had a pretty fast start on the weekend, but couldn't hold on against the Ballarat Footy Club.
Yeah, Dean Jordan had 5 goals to quarter time, and I think everyone on the ground thought at that point, God, he's going to kick 20. But to Ballarat's defence, they stood firm and they helped each other out, and they were able to restrict him to 1 more goal for the rest of the game. So, great effort by Dan. Some of the grabs he took in were just unbelievable, and really a really good effort by him. But Ballarat got up in the end. Yeah,
for sure. Ballarat 18-15-123 defeated East Point 11-9-75. So, look, Nunny, a really good effort in round 1 against Redan for the Ballarat guys, and they couldn't get the 4 points, but they were very pleased to get the 4 points this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. They were very happy just to get that first win on the board, and it still hurts to lose that game in round 1, but it eased the pain a little bit to beat East Point on the weekend.
Yeah, look, we spoke about this time last week how competitive Sebastopol were for a half against North City. They'd be very disappointed with their result against Redan on the weekend. Redan kicked a whopping 29 goals. Look, I mean, to get 29 goals in a game is a great effort by Redan, and Sebastian never in the game from the get-go. So where does Sebastian go from here?
Yeah, look, I think that this was a case of a young side who's obviously, what did they concede in the first quarter? 5 goals, 11. So they're under the pump from the word go.
16 shots in the first quarter.
Yeah, and again, it's just a young side who dropped their bundle early in the game, and things went from bad to worse. It didn't happen against North City. They put in 3 really good quarters, the first, second and last. That third quarter really just cost them in that game. But, they got a couple of injuries out of that round 1 game too, which have obviously cost them. And, probably, I'm not saying they were 20 goals difference, but still they would have helped them to try and maintain a bit of composure throughout the match.
And for Redan to have 12 individual goal kickers, it shows how much they, I suppose, shared the ball around, and I suppose you're getting midfielders pushing forward, kicking goals as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they've lost a couple of their experienced players. I mean, Rowan Niles has been a proven player in the past, and he's no longer with them. And they're obviously sharing the load and kicking goals from everywhere, which is a good sign. That's right.
Now, Lakewind replayed North Ballarat City on Saturday night up at Eureka Stadium. And North City have obviously started the season very well, 2 wins. Lakewind kicked quite a few points, 2 goals, 12. So they had the ball inside their forward 50 a fair bit, just couldn't capitalise, and disappointing for them. Seems to me they can get the ball inside the forward 50, but they're just trying. Obviously, Paul McMahon's a massive loss for them.
Huge.
And just finding an avenue to goals pretty hard at the moment.
Just going to say the same thing. You can't underestimate losing what such a great player like Paul McMahon has been. And they've lost a lot of other good players too. Matthew Battistello didn't play on the weekend because he was away on coaching duties, and they just lacked a little bit of senior experience to put a competitive sports score on the board.
And they just need to keep playing the kids and giving those guys some games, getting some games into them, and that way they can improve for the future, because they can't dwell on the players they've lost, because hopefully some of those guys will come back in the future. But if they can blood some of these young kids, it certainly holds them a good step in the future.
Yeah, 17 players out of their senior side from last year.
It's a lot, isn't it? A lot of players.
Huge gap to fill.
Now, we spoke about junior netball last week, Nunny. A really good weekend again. The crowds are up, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, look, the clubs have really embraced the concept of junior netball, and it means really good things for our senior netball competition as well, because now the clubs have got that flow of kids coming through from the junior ranks right up into their under-18s, into their C-grade reserve and A-grade side. So, netball is just flourishing in this town, and I think the young girls really appreciate being in that club environment. It's really good for them.
Very good. Now, the Spirit of Football Netball program launch, which the last week's winners were Brendan Payne from Bacchus Marsh, he won the football, and Indy Walker from Golden Point won the netball. So let's just tell the viewers how the decision came about by giving those two the awards.
Yeah, the umpires fill out 2 vote cards in the under-16 senior competitions. They're obviously the league best and fairest cards, and there's also the Spirit of Football and netball cards that they fill out as well. And players get awarded on not only their ability in the match, but also their fairness and the ethics that they show during the course of the game as well. So it's a really worthwhile award to win. And Brendan Payne from Bacchus Marsh and Indy Walker, the young netballer from Golden Point, are 2 very worthy winners in round 1. So we look forward to rolling that program out during the course of the year and further promoting that award.
Definitely a great program it is. Now, the senior netball last week, Nani, saw some upsets as well. We saw Ballarat upset East Point. We know how good East Point have been in recent years, and for Ballarat to get an early win on the board against a good side, they'd be very pleased with that.
Absolutely. I don't want to downplay Ballarat's effort on the weekend because it was fantastic. They started off really slowly. I think they were quite a few goals down at quarter time, and then they built over the second and third quarters and just maintained that in the last. So it was a great scalp for them to take, and they played sensational netball, and they thoroughly deserved the win. But you can't help but look at the East Point side and see the amount of stars that were missing on the weekend. And if they were ever going to get beaten by Ballarat, I think it was going to be on the weekend. So they'll be very happy with that win after a disappointing performance against Redan the week before. But great win for Ballarat. Very
good. Now, the other big game last weekend was Melton had a draw against Bacchus Marsh. Bacchus Marsh have been a really good side the last few years as well, played off, I think, quite a few finals. And we spoke about Melton last week. They're obviously a big improver, so it's good to see them, I suppose, matched against one of the other better sides of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. Their star continues to rise. Melton, they obviously knocked off Darley, a Final 6 competitor last week, and they've drawn again with Bacchus Marsh this weekend. So I think Melton are going to be the danger side this season, and any side who comes up against them is going to have to be aware of their talent.
For sure. And the other 2 games that were played, Lake Wendouree were far too good for North City, and Redan had an easy win against Sebastopol as well. Now this weekend, Nunny, rivalry round, always a big weekend of action. Over the last few years have been pretty big crowds, rivalry round. Hopefully that same can continue this year. The first game we'll have a look at is Bacchus Marsh and Darley. No bigger rivalry down the highway.
Yeah, these 2 sides, I think, they really look forward to these 2 matches every single year. And, it's always, no matter, irrespective of where they are on the ladder, they always have a close finish. Game. It's great. Now, Bacchus Marsh, obviously, were on the winning end both times they met last year. Darley had a very disappointing 2011 season, and Darley's coming off, a disappointing loss to Melton a couple of weeks ago. They had the week off last week, so they'll be fresh. But Bacchus Marsh, they're up and about, and they've won the first 2 games of the season, which they haven't done in a very, very long time. And they'll expect to win this, and it's going to be a cracker of a match. And if I wasn't tied up with my own duties at Ballarat, I'd certainly be getting along to this one.
Yeah, for sure. It's shaping up to be a great contest. Now, Lake Wendouree and Ballarat. Lake Wendouree obviously haven't recorded a win yet, and Ballarat their first win on the weekend. So a really big game for both clubs. Ballarat will be desperately keen to record their second win and I suppose cement their spot inside the top 6.
Great history between these 2 sides. They only played off in a grand final only 2 years ago. Many people forget that, and Lake Wendouree were the victors on that occasion. But they've had some fantastic clashes over the years. They've had players that have played in both camps. Matthew Battistello is one that comes to mind. He's a former Ballarat player, now playing with Lake Wendouree. There's fantastic rivalries there, and this is going to be a good match. Lake Wendouree sort of struggled in their first 2 games, but they're still going to take Ballarat right to the wire. It's going to be a good matchup as well.
It's good to see the Wendouree reserve in still in pretty good condition as well.
I walked over it only about an hour ago, Braids, and it is in sensational condition. Probably as good as it's ever been this time of the year.
Great to see. Now, another big rivalry, Sunbury-Sebastopol, Nunny.
Yeah, look, unfortunately with an 11-team competition, there's always one game, I suppose, that doesn't quite fit. But, look, there's still some pretty good rivalry there, especially back in the early days when Sunbury first came into competition, and Sebastopol had some really strong sides. Look, Sebastopol, they've got their injuries, they're playing their kids, they've got nothing to lose in this game. They can go down to Sunbury and just throw caution to the wind and just try and run Sunbury ragged on the big oval down to Clark Oval. That's all they can hope for.
And the thing is, they need to be competitive in the first half, because all of a sudden, if they're 6 or 7 goals down at quarter time, they drop their bundle and their confidence of the players gets down. I think it's important if they can stay in the game early on, give themselves every opportunity.
And Sunbury's not a side to take their foot off their throat either.
For sure.
They'd certainly want to be in at half time.
Now, Melton South and Melton, no bigger rivalry also down the highway in this game, and both sides are in that reasonably good form, and they'll be hoping to both record a victory. It's probably an even money game, really.
It is, and look, they're sitting with 1 win apiece, both sides, and definitely heading into this game, both expecting to win this match. So they're definitely Actually, I don't think Melton South has won a game yet. No, they haven't. So, yeah, Melton South will be looking to obviously chalk up their first win on the board this weekend. And Melton, they would have, they were there. They should be 2-0 at the moment, but they're 1-1 heading into this game.
Yeah.
They played fantastic against Darley, shocking last quarter against Bacchus Marsh on the weekend. And if they can hold their heads against Melton South this week, they could be sitting all right.
For sure. Now, the big game that we should spend some time on, Nunny, is a big game on Sunday between Eastport and Redan at the the Eastern Oval. And as we know, this is the first game of the Eastern Oval for the year, the first game since the surface has been redeveloped, and it's great to see football being played back at the Eastern Oval because we know how good the venue is and can be, and in terms of the crowd. So hopefully, enormous crowd can get along to the game, the standalone game on Sunday this week, and really support the both sides. And now the new service, Nunny, you were down there yesterday. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, obviously the council's invested a lot of money in the resurfacing of the Eastern Oval, and look, that's been planned for 10 or 15 years. So that resurfacing was always going to be done. But yeah, look, it's a fantastic facility. It's it's one of the best
world class.
World class. It's it is. They play a few cricket matches and everything, and it's going to be it's probably the best facility in country Victoria. That, along with probably the Alexandra Oval in Ararat as well.
Yeah.
So look, a really good result for the East Point Football Netball Club and the Ballarat Football League for our major events as well.
Very good. Now we'll touch on the BFL. Schools application. Nunny, we obviously go to the website, click on the iPhone.
That's it. You click on the big iPhone there on the BFL website if you've got a smartphone, and then add that to your home screen, and you can get live BFL scores as they happen every single weekend. Proudly supported by Telstra.
Right. Now the senior interleague squad, Aaron, will be announced on Friday this week.
Correct.
Squad of 40 players.
40 players, yeah. We'll announce that on Friday, and we'll send that out to the media. And next week we'll cast our eyes over the squad, and we'll have a look at the players to watch. For sure.
Nunny, once again, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Big show it was, and your contribution was outstanding once again.
Thanks, Brades. Another stellar performance as the host of the show.
And thanks very much for joining us today on the BFL Footy Show, proudly supported by McDonald's and Ballarat Toyota. Once again, hopefully you'll be able to join us this time next week. Goodbye for now.